Alright guys, we're back in action. I have got some massive news for you and I'm very excited to be sharing it right here in this video. It's been a while, it's been a long time, but following the success and the amazing life-changing adventures we had around America, the last times we did this, I'm really happy and excited to share the news that I'm coming back to the United States of America, and very soon at that. More Scottish Man adventures in America. And I can't tell you how excited both myself and my wife Tekka are to be coming back to your amazing country and seeing some more places that we've never been before. And I'm going to tell you all about that. I'm going to reveal the places we're going and the timeline in this video. I'm excited to share it with you. But first, before we get to that, I think it's probably worth doing a bit of a recap of our American journey, the story so far, because it has been a long story, an exciting story for me, and like I said, life-changing. And I just want to say as well, to start off with, a huge thank you to everyone who supported me going on these trips. Before, you guys, the viewers, I could not be doing these trips without your support, without you watching these videos, liking them, sharing them, and all the other amazing things that you do to enable me to go on these adventures to United States of America. It's been amazing. You know, I've had all sorts of cool things, like followers have arranged it so that I have had like honorary citizenship to cities in America. That's from San Antonio, Texas, and lots of other cool things. Also, those who have supported me financially on Patreon, it really has made a big difference. And this time, we're coming on quite a long trip. And as always, if you'd like to buy me a coffee while I'm there, or maybe even contribute towards a meal or an experience or something else, I'm always very, very grateful, and I'll put the link to my PayPal down below. If you're willing and able, I'd very much appreciate if you would consider joining in. And throughout the series, when it's published, I'll be giving a shout out to all the people who have supported me in the videos, and I'm so excited to be sharing the story. But first of all, like I said, a recap of the story so far. So my first trip to the United States of America was in 2017. I was invited by the United States Embassy to London on a tour that they called Exploring American Values. And that was my first taste of America, and it's something I'd always wanted to do. I went out there with a bunch of other British and Scottish people who create content online, and the United States Embassy, the State Department, gave us a tour of different parts of the country, starting off with DC so we could see some government stuff. They took us to Florida, they took us to Texas, and it was really a great trip for me, life-changing in many ways to start off with. I met so many cool people, but then the content that I created from that trip ended up basically kickstarting my career as a travel vlogger who basically exclusively on this channel anyway visits the United States and travels the United States. And a long story from there. So that was 2017. In that same year, me and my wife Tekka, we actually went back to USA, but this time we went to New York City, which is a place that I've documented well on this channel over the years, and it's a place that we always go back to because we both really like it there. There's a lot of great things about the city that we enjoy, and we always try to go back when we can. So there's that. And then we went back, I think, later in that year, and I think we might have even went twice in 2018, but we stayed for about 3 weeks in one of the occasions in Brooklyn, which was just amazing. Then in 2019, right before the pandemic started, we decided to go on a bit of a trip to, first of all, New Orleans, and I created a bit of an infamous series of videos on this channel. Not really infamous, but videos that I know a lot of you guys watched and interacted with at the time. I absolutely loved New Orleans. It was one of those places that I just thought, you know, this is good. The food here is good. The culture is interesting, unique. The weather, okay, a bit swampy, but good. Wildlife, I liked a lot about New Orleans. It's a city that we spent 4 days in, but I felt like it was a lot longer. But I also feel like I'd like to go back.
This is next level.
I will be doing a whole series of videos recapping some of those road trips on this channel in the very near future, right? So I'm not going to go into massive details about some of these journeys right now, but this is just a recap of the journey. After that, we went up to North Carolina, which is a trip that I spoke about in last week's video. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. But with these trips that I've just told you about, it really got us heavily invested in American road trips and wanting to see more. I think we've done quite a lot, right? We've done a few more road trips I'll tell you about in a second. But there is so much more to see, and that's what this trip coming up is all about. So the next trip we did was in the Pacific Northwest. We flew over to Portland and then went up to Seattle. I've got family who live up there in that part of the world. We spent a few days up in Vancouver, Washington State, the Multnomah Falls, Seattle, all really cool places, and Portland as well. And from there we got a car and we drove south to San Francisco. And we spent a few days there. First steps into California. And we had such an amazing time there. We met some amazing viewers. And by the way, in basically all of these stops that I'm talking about, my viewers came out to meet me. And we had some drinks and we had some fun. It was really awesome. And I really enjoyed meeting everyone. So that road trip happened. When we got to San Francisco, we got another hire car. We changed over and then we drove further south. And in California, just south of San Francisco, we stayed with Donna and her husband, who are two of my followers, who we've since met again in Edinburgh, which was really good fun. Around Santa Barbara, we got a bit of a tour there and headed on our way south. Going on the Pacific Highway down to Los Angeles, which is kind of like a bucket list trip for anyone to do, I would say. That seaside California drive is utterly sensational. Top road trip in the world, I would say. One of the top ones. So, yeah, and then we spent a few days in Los Angeles. From there, we flew over to Texas, and we got to know Texas a bit better. Like I said earlier, we got an honorary citizenship to the city of San Antonio in Texas. Amazing. We had good barbecue. We met another bunch of great followers from Texas. The Scottish Society of San Antonio came out to meet as well. We went to a rodeo. We just had a lot of fun there. And from there, we did another bit of a road trip over to Houston to meet two of my long-term viewers, Mark and Carrie from Houston, Texas. I mean, they're just amazing. You know, they always try and come out and meet us. We're really hoping, fingers crossed, we'll get to see them again very soon on this road trip I'm going to tell you about. But anyway, we went over to Houston. They took us on a road trip down to Galveston on the coast, and we ate some good food, and we generally just got to kick back and enjoy the experience and getting to know them a bit better. From there, we went up to Chicago, which is another city they've never been before and always wanted to go. Really enjoyed that. Chicago was awesome. We got to meet Lawrence from Lost in the Pond and do a video with him, and we went to a Cubs game. It was very exciting, lots of fun. I just really enjoyed it. In Chicago, we met Pam, one of my awesome viewers as well, who gave us a real trip around Chicago, her hometown. We met her awesome family. They made a cake for us, and we just really enjoyed getting to know Pam and her family. It was so special, and we even went for a deep dish pizza as well. So there was that. We then went back home to Scotland, but very soon we were planning a return, which came from a trip that we did, starting another road trip, starting in Nashville, and I don't know, like, this was only a few months after the previous road trip that I'm just telling you about. We started in Nashville, we got in a car, explored Nashville, then we went south, we went to Atlanta, then we went over to the coast. Charleston and Savannah, two cities that are, if you've never been before and you're interested in history, beautiful cities with great architecture, you need to go to both of those places. I really liked them, and so did Tekka. We thoroughly enjoyed going to both Charleston in South Carolina and Savannah in Georgia. Amazing. From there, we jumped back in the car and we drove south yet further into Florida, over to Tampa Bay. The beaches there, probably, I would say, are among the best I've ever been in my life. No doubt about it. And then from there, we drove even further south and we went all the way to Key West, which was a super experience. Really enjoyed it, and then ended that road trip in Miami eventually. All these videos have appeared on my channel over the last couple of years. They were so special to us, and we really enjoyed it. And then we did another trip as well, not forgetting. Rocky from USA Kilts invited us out to his home, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That was really great. We had never been there before either, Philadelphia. We spent a few days there getting to see the local places, eat the food, go to the main market in the city. And then Rocky took us out to his business, USA Kilts, which is a great business that is really, really tied in with the Scottish community out there. They gave us a kilt as well, which was really, really awesome. I had a great time with Rocky and getting to know him, his shop, and everything to do with Philadelphia and Eat the Good food and all the rest of it. There was a couple other trips in between that I've not mentioned. Came back to New York several times. We did Halloween in New York last year, but that more or less catches you up to current day and our next road trip. Now, I've been to a lot of places. I feel like I've been to a lot of places, but I do know there are many, many more places to come. And I know that people get disappointed when I don't visit their city and all the rest of it, but, I'm making my way around slowly but surely to all the places, and we will get there, okay? So this road trip, it starts in Boston, okay? And it has to start in Boston because I've got some other unrelated stuff to do there that I have to go to, okay? I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be good. And I'm also going to hang around in Boston for a few days after the event that I'm going to because we need to see the city. And we will probably, and this is at Halloween, by the way, Halloween 2024, which means we will probably go to Salem at Halloween. That's the current thinking. Both myself and Tekka, we really enjoy Halloween. And we know that you guys in the States do Halloween very well. So Salem. And then we've got a couple of days around about then where we're a bit open. Whether that's exploring Boston, whether that's going to Cape Cod, or I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But that's the start of the journey. Then, I'm going to tell you specific dates here. The 3rd of November, we're flying out from there right across the country to the opposite side to Los Angeles. Now, we're not staying in Los Angeles. It's just a stopping point for us because the flights worked out that way, okay? So we're going to stay in Los Angeles for one night, and then we're picking up a hire car, and then we're going into the desert. We're going to do 2 desert trips on this one, okay? The California desert to start off with. So we'll be going into, what's that place? Palm Springs. Palm Springs, that's where we're going. We're going to go there, Joshua Tree, enjoy that side of the desert first of all, and then we're going to be heading south from there. This is the start of November. We're going to be heading south. And by the way, we will probably be in the California desert on the night of the US elections, 2024. So that'll be interesting. I'm not sure, the place that we're going to be staying at yet exactly on that day. If it's going to be a place there's going to be a lot of people, out in the streets and talking about the elections and all that stuff. But that could be interesting, right? It's something that I've always been fascinated in, US politics. So there's that. And then we're driving south from there to San Diego, which is a city that we've always wanted to visit. San Diego's going to be great. I think we're staying in San Diego for 3 days. Again, no itinerary yet for the city. We will just be there for 3 days, and we're going to enjoy everything we can, whether that's food, culture, entertainment, whatever else. And then, from San Diego, after we've stayed there for a few days, we're heading on a road that's parallel to the US border with Mexico, heading east, inland, all the way to Phoenix, Arizona, first of all. That's our first... Is that our first stopping point? I think we might be staying a night somewhere in the desert in between, but we will eventually arrive in Phoenix. We won't, because of the times, we won't be spending a massive amount in Phoenix, but we will get to Phoenix, Arizona. From there, we will be going inland, further into the desert, to Sedona, seeing all the things around there. Obviously, the Grand Canyon, right? We need to do that. Again, all the exact timings of these type of things have not been worked out perfectly yet, but we will be going in to the Grand Canyon for at least, I would say, 2 days. Another place that I really want to go, and I think we will make it, but I'm not 100% sure. From Sedona, we'll head over to Monument Valley, those beautiful big mountains. Of course, we will be seeing Native American lands, exploring that and seeing what that's all about. I'm very excited about that part of it. It's just going to be so cool. Monument Valley is a place that, I've seen in pictures and movies for, decades, and I'm really excited to see it in person. Take photos. I've also been doing, as well as taking all the vlog content, I'm going to be taking my film cameras and doing some photography throughout this trip, documenting that, and we'll see what we do with that. I don't know. Maybe some posters. Maybe I'll just document the trip and turn it into a photo book or something. But anyway, I digress. Monument Valley, I think we will be making a very quick pit stop on the way back from there in the state of Utah, somewhere. Maybe for a day. I don't know for sure yet. If that happens, it'll be very brief. Because then, for the end of and again, this is because the timing that we've got here is quite tight, okay? We will then be making it back for our last weekend of the trip in Las Vegas. We're ending this trip in Las Vegas, which I'm very, very excited about. Everybody knows about Las Vegas, and yet I've never been, right? So that alone is exciting. We will be there, I think, for 3 or 4 days. That doesn't necessarily mean that we will stay exactly in the city, but we will be in Las Vegas, and that's going to be awesome. I'm so much looking forward to that. And then we fly home on the 19th of November. So, that's like over 20 days traveling in the States. We're going to be seeing as much as possible. The desert stuff just really excites me. Now, again, there's lots of places I know that I'm missing out on this trip. I know New Mexico, for example, is another place in the desert that I want to come back to. It didn't work out on this trip, but we will be coming back to New Mexico. That's a trip I really want to do. And that's it, yeah. So I'm very excited. I would love to get your tips, because, we're going to all these places we've never been before. If you have been to any of the places that I've talked about, if you're from one of the places I've talked about, get in touch. Leave me your comments down below with a way to get in touch. I would love to know your views on what we need to do when we're there, what we need to eat, the places that you know about, local tips, or maybe you have been a tourist in these places yourself and you can help us out. And also tips, because listen, if you want me to put $10 in your name in the casinos in Las Vegas, I'll be very delighted to do that. Again, there'll be a link down below, and I very much appreciate all your support and love for these trips. It's been amazing. Like I said, you guys have enabled these trips. Hopefully you've enjoyed the videos that have come out of these trips. There'll be a lot more to come. And through this trip that I'm doing, again, over 20 days, I reckon I'll get about 20 videos or so. Maybe slightly less, slightly more, I don't know. But that means it'll give me like 3 months of videos that I'll be posting from these road trips. Very exciting. They'll all be launching in the channel in January 2025, which is not that far from now. And one other thing that we will be doing on this trip as well, now we did dabble this on the last trip, but not fully, is on this trip I will be doing live videos on this YouTube channel, okay? Hopefully from every single city location that we visit, we will be doing hour-long live streams from the place, so you can see what I'm up to as I'm doing the trip. So that's new. And that is the story of this road trip that's coming up. I wanted to give you guys the exclusive news on the channel, let you know a little bit about it and what we're up to, and, hopefully you guys can participate. Again, like I said, send me your tips, your information, or actual tips down below. I'd very much appreciate it, and we'll keep in touch. But actually, this next week I'm launching a new series where I'm doing some roundups of some of the best road trips I've been on in America. I'm excited to be sharing that with you. Might need to don the cowboy hat again, and let's hit the road. Should we do some meetups? Are you from these places? Can we meet you? I don't know. Let's make it happen. Anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate you being here, watching this video and all the videos and all the support so far. I'm looking forward to coming back. Scottish man and his Brazilian wife back in America for a new adventure. That's it for now. Until that adventure, I hope you have a good night, morning, evening, afternoon, or whatever time of day it is wherever you are in the world. Take care.